Okay. You are starting with this one. You have all the 11 pictures?
Okay.
No. Okay, you'll be putting them one by one, right? Yeah. Oh, so I don't know this now. So you are the one calling the show.
Julie.
Yeah. Tell me when you were on. Oh, okay. Okay, hello everybody. Is anybody on already to see us? Yeah? We have people there already. Okay, good. So this is another program again. We just finished one and here we are with another one. What do you think about this? I like the fact that, did you, Julie, did you specially pick this one to start or what? No, because it's like this is a gift. This is a New Year gift, and it looks just like a gift, and it's like you put it especially like that. Now, this book here is called "How to Get What You Need in Life." How to get what you need in life. Did you edit this book?
No, I didn't.
It's not your. Okay. Okay. Do you people know who is book? Okay. Are we on Facebook yet? Okay. Do you people know who is Booker Washington? Success, do you know who is Booker Washington?
I think it was one of the activists, black activists in the United States.
Yeah. It was the education, it was one of the, okay, for example, we could say civil rights movement. Well, civil rights movement was led by people like Martin Luther King Jr., but he was older. He was an older generation.
Marcus Garvey generation.
Yes, he was more Marcus Garvey generation, but he was not on the street. He was doing his own through intellectual emancipation. So he is one of the people who fought for the black, black Americans. But in his own case, he didn't fight from using it. Fought intellectually through education. He got himself a good education and started a college. And in an age where black people were not going to college, they were not going to university, they were not getting education at all. So he got good education, and then he was giving black people education, he was sending them to university, and he was so brilliant that he was so educated that intellectually he was one of the most brilliant individuals in America. He was one of the brightest minds. So he used that to push for the emancipation of black people. So Booker Washington is even his name comes from book. Booker. Yeah, it's a book. So what he wrote is, you measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you are to overcome to reach your goals. So you measure actually, I like there's another thing it said about greatness, that greatness is the number or amount of obstacles and hindrances and trials that you overcame in the process of not just becoming successful, but how many challenges have you been able to overcome. That is what determines your greatness. It is people who have overcome more challenges, more trials, more obstacles in their way to greatness that really become greater than the other greats. So your measurement of greatness is not by the accumulated wealth or money or resources, but the amount of challenges you have been able to overcome the process. So that is a new definition of greatness, because many people think that greatness is a amount of accomplishment. But he say no, greatness is the amount of obstacles. Yes. Because some people, let's say, became presidents. Many people became president. But the ones who really become great are the ones who went through the greatest obstacles. Or some people become millionaires. But the ones who really become great millionaires, not just ordinary millionaires. That's why you don't know a lot of millionaires. But the ones who are really great are the ones who who underwent too much, much more challenges and obstacles. So this book is therefore about that. How to get what you need in life. So the book is about not being afraid of the challenges that are on the way between where you are right now and the thing you are targeting to get. Because, okay, for example, if I tell you now, our viewer, that you can become anything you want. The problem is not in saying that. The problem is, what can you pay the price it will take? Can you overcome the obstacle? Can you pay the price of what it will take for you to become anything you want? For example, everybody is talking about Nigeria. And everybody is complaining about Nigeria. Everybody is talking about Nigeria or Africa. Why are we so backward? Everybody can complain. Everybody wants a new Africa. But who is ready to pay the price it will take to build a new Africa? So when I now started talking about challenging status quo and challenging the things that must change, everybody is saying, oh, we all know it's bad, but why are you talking about? Are you not the one who just told me now that you want something to change? Are you not the one who said things are bad? Now I'm coming to challenge it and change, and you are saying, why am I?
People want the supernatural.
Oh, I don't understand. So that's what they say. You are telling me that the nation needs change. And I'm now doing exactly what it will take to bring about change. Now you are saying, why are you doing that? But it means you don't want change. You say, no, we want change. But this is what it will take for you to experience change. It's just like, for example, some people are talking to me about Singapore. I said, stop talking. Because, and these are big men in Nigeria. I said, so why are you talking about Singapore as an example for Nigeria? I said, okay, for example, if you spit and do that in the street in Singapore, you pay for it. How many can we? Let's do that. Let's begin to do that in Nigeria. They say, no. Why? But you say you want Singapore. Okay, you cross the road. Can you imagine Lagos? How many people cross the road in the wrong place in Lagos? Everyone does it. So if you cross the road in the wrong place, you pay for it. Or you'll be flogged for it. Or if you gossip, you'll pay for it in Singapore. Or if you testify about something you don't know, you pay for it. If you tell lies, you pay for it. So let's do this, or you'll be caned for it in public. They say, oh, that one will never work in Nigeria. But you want Singapore now. If you want Singapore, are you ready to pay the price of change? Because we say we don't have money. Singapore doesn't have money. They don't even have raw materials or natural resources. But because you get fined for everything. That's how their budget started growing initially before they made it into financial centers. Integrity, they enforced integrity by force. Law and order. That we are going to be talking about now. It is law and order, but the penalty for violation, you pay the price for what you have. And if you don't go to work, you'll be punished. If you leave, you come earlier to work, come later to work than you are expected to, you'll be punished. If you don't show up late, or you go out earlier from work, you'll be punished. Everything is penalized in Singapore. That's why they're able to have the kind of country that you have. When I first came to Europe, I was always angry at the order. Everything you have to line up, or you have to wait, or you have to ask, or you have to. You don't do anything you want. But that's what people are saying they want change. But this is what makes these countries great. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. So how to get what you need in life? We need a lot of things, and we want a lot of things. But how do we get it? Is the ability to build in yourself the stamina, to build in yourself the discipline to say, it doesn't matter what it will take me. I am going to pay the price. It doesn't matter. That ability to be able to stand strong and tall like that is what it takes for you to get anything done. And maybe you'd like to comment on that.
So I think that establishes the fact that for everything that we could ever desire, because especially it's the beginning of the new year, and there's a lot that people want to achieve in the year.
They want to achieve through prophecy, like you spoke about.
They want to achieve everything through prophecy. So this establishes the fact that there is always going to be a price to pay for that which you want to achieve this year. So what will determine whether that will come to pass is, are you ready to pay the price for it? Do you have the discipline, the stamina?
You mean the prophecy cannot do it?
The prophecy is not doing it.
Because they are releasing those prophecies now.
Just as they didn't do it last year. If you didn't do it last year, it's not going to do it this year.
Miracle will not happen.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So it is about the fact that, are we ready to pay the price for it? Are we ready to walk through the process? This is laying emphasis on the process more than the end result. So there is the need for us to see the process, to enjoy the process, to go through the process, because the process is also as important as the end result. And one thing that Pastor said that really struck me so hard is that the fact that we do not have many millionaires today is because not all of them actually went through as much obstacles as some of them did go through. So obstacles itself is a blessing. It's something to be enjoyed. So whatever thing you want to do this year, whatever thing you want to accomplish, you know, you want perhaps in its finance, perhaps it's in the career, whatsoever thing it is, then you have to be ready to pay the price, to walk the walk, to enjoy the process, and to love the process. Because the more challenges you have in actualizing that which you want to achieve is actually what will determine how great you will become in that endeavor. So I think this also challenges the status quo in many ways. It challenges the status quo because not many people know that the process is as important as,
if not more important,
if not more important than the end result. So if you are going through difficulty, if you are going through more challenges than your neighbor, I think it's something to envy. I think it's something to be happy about.
because that's your measurement of greatness.
That is what is measuring greatness. Pastor, in contrast to this, they think many people, and especially in Africa, we've been taught to reason.
In churches,
Especially. Yes, especially in religious circles, is why me? People ask why me?
When I go through any challenge.
When I'm going through difficulties and difficult experiences, they ask why me? But this other person has it easier than I did have it. I remember one of my classmates was telling me that there was no exam that she wrote
That was easy.
that was easy. She said it this way, that if there were two topics that she didn't read about, it's those two topics that are going to come out in the examination. So like, I've always added the difficult way. And if I understood this at that time, I would have said, no, but that also means that you are going to be better than the rest of us. So if you're having more difficulties, either from last year or from the beginning of the year, then it's something to be envied of, or to be envious of you of. Because like this new book is saying, that is actually how you get what you need in life.
No, okay, let's talk about Nigeria and Singapore. Can you compare the two? You heard about?
Yes.
Okay.
Very interesting from the book
Leadership.
the Nigeria and the Leadership Question, where I had to read in details in that book the history of Singapore, how they broke away from Indonesia. In fact, they were cut away from Indonesia because they were a liability to the country. So, and you laid emphasis on the process they had to go through the former president. It was extremely painful. You could feel the pain of the people in that book. So many things had to come in place. And one of the things that suffered the most under the former president, was also the religious centers, because he was trying to re-engineer the mind of the people. Yeah. So he had to also deal with many of those problems. And he told the people, he said, you people do not have any problem in Singapore. The singular problem you have is in the mind. It kept laying emphasis on the way Singaporeans were thinking at that point in time. And the people were able to line up behind them. They were able to pay the price for it. There was no natural resource to bank on. The palm oil that Singapore is exporting to the world today, they got from Nigeria. Yeah. These were things that they had to, so they had to pay the price. They had to be willing to go through the reforms. It wasn't easy at all for them. Like Pastor said, there's penalty for chewing gums on the street, there's penalty for spitting, there's penalty for gossiping. There are so many laws in Singapore today that are still punishable by death. But these people were ready to go through that work, and the world envies them today. They are one of the fastest growing economies in the world.
Now, one of the other things that this book will show you is that it's going to show you steps, concrete steps to get what you need in life, but it will make it easy for you to pay the price. In fact, it will make it easy for you to, you want to go, you'll be eager. You will rather be eager to want to do something, to want to pay the price, you will be looking for problems after you finish it. Because, for example, people are telling me right now, are you not, you are putting yourself through so much danger by attacking or by this thing. But because I have learned how to get what I need, well, you yourself, you are also putting yourself through so much danger. People will say, why is it that you are now ready to do anything you need to do? Talk, write, not afraid. It's, for me, for example, because I know that is the only way for me to create a better people, a better generation, a better country. What do you say in terms of that? You are paying a huge price on your own. Tell me about that.
For me, my motivation for deciding to stand up to my convictions and to speak, well, I have to be very, very honest. Also draws from Dr. Sunday, because in one of the HMTs that I attended,
yes,
you said it clearly. One of the foundations you laid in my mind in that HMT is the fact that there will never be greatness without controversy. And before that time, I remember that I used to be extremely scared of controversy. I want to be the good guy.
Wow.
I want to be the good guy to everybody. And I was not ready to pay the price of being battered, of the battered image or anybody. And you said in that HMT very clearly that the price that you have to pay for greatness, one of the greatest prices you're going to pay for greatness is controversy. Things are not just going to come in order or into alignment by themselves. You have to be ready to pay the price. So I had to go back in one of my retreats after that HMT to ask myself, am I really ready to die to myself, to die to my own image, to die to what people think about me, die to family, public opinion, die to friends, die to many things that was like my support system, basically. And when I was ready to do that, when I had that conviction in my mind, then I decided to speak up. And so far, things have been wonderful, extremely wonderful. Truly, I lost friends, but I gained friends.
You broke the plague of silence.
The plague of silence. It was like the icebreaker for me. And I think I've gotten to that point of no return, really, because there's nothing to go back to any longer. There's absolutely nothing to go back to. So the price to pay for greatness, for me at that point in time, was the price of controversy.
Okay. Now, what you just mentioned now is one of the points that is in this book. It's called the formula of getting what you need in life. One of the formulas, but apart from the formulas in this book, I also have the laws of getting what you need in life. I just told you one of the laws. There is no way anybody in life will ever become great without going through controversies. But that's just one of the laws of getting what you need in life. What about the other laws? I'm not going to tell you. What about the formulas? What to do? One and one of what to put together? 1 + 1, 2 + 2. What to do to get exactly what you need in life? There is no way you will not get anything you need in life if you read this book, because the formulas are there. So if you need the formulas, go for the book. You can get it on Amazon, or you can read it for free. It's actually there for free if you are on Amazon Unlimited. So put it on Amazon. Go to Amazon on Kindle Unlimited. You can read it for free, or you can buy it. Or if you want to even buy it cheaper than on Amazon, then write to our office, dssbooks@gmail.com. dssbooks@gmail.com. Okay, now let's go for something. Yes, you want to say everything is within your reach. What do you think about that?
I was actually going to ask that. What was the concept?
Everything is within your reach. There is nothing that is not out that is out there that is not within your reach. For example, for you to resolve any problem, you only need 4 telephone calls in the average before you could get anything. You can get to anybody if you sit down first, draw out the system in 4 calls. They mean not you calling 4 people. I mean 4 connections. Okay, for example, you call Pastor Sunday. Pastor Sunday calls another person. By the time you do 4 chains of calls like that, you can get to the President of the United States. You can get to the President of Nigeria. You can get to anybody you want to get. Everything is within your reach, 4 calls away.
Amazing.
same thing it takes to become a millionaire. 4 points away. That's how to get what you need in life. Everything within your reach, within your finger. It's just need to reach out. It's at your fingertips. Everything you need in life. That's another formula. Another formula we just gave you there. But you'll see more formulas to come when you read the book. Okay, let's go for another book because we have 11 books to present to you today, or 10 books, or 11 books. Okay, can you believe this one? Can you believe this one? Can you make it bigger from your side so that people will be able to read it? Amazing. This one, I did a series on it on my YouTube page. I don't know if some of you who are watching could remember. If you go to my, I think it's series number 8 or so. If you go to my YouTube page, Sunday Adelaja Official, one of the teachings there is why losing your job is one of the best things that will happen to you. So this is a book on it. Why losing your job is the best thing that will happen to you. People will say I'm crazy. In fact, a lot of people actually came to the platform because they were thinking that I was crazy, just because of they had the title, including Anastasia McDonald. How many of you remember Anastasia McDonald? Now, Anastasia McDonald came to the platform, joined the DSA family because of this topic, because she said, only a crazy man could have a title like this. Let me go and check out what they say. What is he going to talk about that will be a blessing? How can you lose your job? And what is he going to talk about? How is he going to argue it? That losing your job is a blessing. What do you think about that topic?
Wow.
He's scary.
Very, 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 very timely book and very important book, because while you were talking, I was thinking about the need for a book like this to flood a country like Nigeria,
where people are looking for
a job. Some people lost their job or whatever thing. So imagine if you give this as a gift to somebody in the new year. Maybe somebody has just gone through the loss of his job, and you let them understand that experience.
Or they are looking for employment.
People are looking for jobs. So, like, I want to make comment on this statement by Steve Jobs that says, "Don't let something that doesn't matter cause you to lose something that does." That is something that does matter. Don't let something that does not matter cause you to lose something that does matter. And of course, you can suspect, even though you haven't opened the book, but you can suspect what that does not matter is. Many times, the job that we have is actually what does not matter. And then the job itself is causing us to lose what does matter. You know, so we need to flood Nigeria with a book like this so that more and more people, young people like me, who their greatest dream in life is to get a job. The system has worked it in our psyche, in our mind, that young people, the greatest thing you want to do is get a job. Especially if that job comes with a car, you are blessed. If it comes with an apartment, then it's the best thing that could ever happen. But then, this book is saying otherwise. That your greatest dream is actually what will make you lose that which truly matters. So losing that job or losing a job is actually what is most important. It's one of the best things that could happen to
best
society.
achievements.
Best achievement.
Do you know that some of the people who are not here right now for this HMT, the reason they are not here is because of job. Because of
they are
job.
losing something that matters.
Yeah. And that's what Steve Jobs said, right?
Yes.
But let's first of all talk about this book in this sense. Why losing your job is the best thing that could happen to you. Why losing your job is the best thing that could happen to you is because we are not created to have jobs. Nobody is created to go to work or to have a job. Actually, as a matter of fact, jobs are supposed to be a matter of temporary reality. Job is only supposed to be something temporary. And how do I shape that?
Yes. Like
okay, something more like occasional, more like
transient.
Something that is
Like a remedy.
yes, you don't look forward to it. You shouldn't dream of having a job. A job is nothing you should ever dream of having. A job is something you should engage in for a very short time while you are on the way to your real life purpose, calling, engagement. Everybody is supposed to have a real life engagement, a real life purpose, a real life calling, a real life occupation, a real life mission for which you were sent here. But on the way to getting yourself prepared for that real life purpose and mission, on the way of getting ready for your destination, you might want to get a job just to get some needs met on your way to get into your place of engagement. And
so it's not a dream, it's not.
It shouldn't be you have your own dream, you have your own life dream. So job is something that you are doing the meanwhile on your way to getting to your place of dream, to your place of occupation, to your place of purpose, to your place of fulfillment. So there are only 2 or 3 reasons why you should even consider a job. One, because you want to get some skills in the meanwhile. 2, because you want to prove yourself faithful in little and in other man's matter, just to learn from that other man. Because once you are serving another man and being faithful in another man's something, you are getting knowledge that the other man has, expertise, experience, skills. That's all. So then the other reason why you might want to consider a job is because you are in a place whereby your lifetime goal and mission and purpose and calling has not started generating enough to sustain you yet. So meanwhile, because you have not yet grown and become an expert that particular calling will you've not been big enough there for you to be sustained by what your calling is. So in the meanwhile, you are giving out a few of your hours to be able to make some money to sustain you in the natural while you are growing in your place of calling, till that place sustains you more full time. So it's just a kind of temporary kind of condition. You must have a reason why. In fact, you must have a reason why you have to work. You have to get a job. That is, you have to have a reason. There must be some. What's the explanation for it?
There has to be a crisis, kind of.
A need for it, or a temporary need, a temporary explanation. There must be a reason, not something that you are looking for. It must be. You must. It's such a profane thing. It's such a derogatory thing. It's such a place where you shouldn't go. That there must be a reason why you have to engage in that. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. There must be a reason why you needed to do that. And then while you are involved in that, there must also be a sense of limitation or an understanding of the time limit. When you know exactly, is it somewhere from where you have to run, and you have to get out of the place very fast. By the way, if you have not shared this message yet, this program, you better go and share it. Go and spread, because this is the new year. But go and share the link. Go and tag people and call people fast to come and listen to this discussion, because I don't know what you get my explanation. It's too tough.
Absolutely get it, Doctor. And one thing that came to my mind is there is then a big crisis, really big crisis right now, because the only thing that schools all over the world
are training people to do,
training us for, is to go get a job.
Wow.
That's the only thing. So young people all over the world have been trained to go get the one thing that they should never get, which is a job. Because at the end of the day, then the job makes you to lose your life. It makes you, from tomorrow now, January 2nd, of course, January 1st is usually the public holiday, but from January 2nd, the rat race starts, and it might never end until December 31st of 2018. So you see people go all over the cycle again, run again and again and again and again and again, and before you know it, it's another year is gone. And what Dr. Sanders brilliantly explained is the fact that man was not designed to look for a job. Man was not designed for job. Okay, let's go back a little bit of history into the origin of job, what actually brought about the issue of jobs. Okay, before, right now we're in the information age. What preceded the information age was called the industrial age. And what it brought about the industrial age was the First and the Second World War, basically the Second World War. Because after that time, there was a lot of devastation in the world. A lot of countries had been broken down, a lot of countries had been destroyed, and there was the urgent need to rebuild all of these countries. So there were a lot of industries that were springing up, and when you have a lot of industries springing up, then you needed workers. You needed people to, skilled workers and all of that, and that was what brought about the industrial age. Everybody, before the industrial age, what we had was the agrarian age. Every family had a farm. You had cattle, you had things to grow. But after the agrarian, because of the world war that happened, and then we came into the industrial age, everybody now needed to go get a job. So you had people who had to leave their farms and go get a job now because companies were trying to rebuild the systems that have broken down the countries. But unfortunately, right now, things have changed. When the order. So people are still tied to what is no longer
belong to the past.
To the past.
Actually, but the thing we must understand is that God created man for a purpose initially. There is always something that is buried in everybody. Before God sends you to the world, He buries something in you. He buries something in you. You are packaged for something. You are packaged to deliver something from heaven. You are packaged with some diamond, with some diadem, with some brilliant, with some treasure. It's packaged in you. That treasure must be left in here. It must be planted here. It must be seeded here. So the whole concept of work is for you to be able to release that treasure and use it to accomplish the assignment that God sent you to accomplish here on earth. That's it. So you are not supposed to come here to now be looking and struggling for what to do. No. So job, therefore, is something that you get engaged in, maybe to get some expertise, some skills, so that you might be able to use that skills in the process of delivering your own life mandate. Or maybe it is something that you need to do to learn from another person or people who have gone before you, to learn from him. You are faithful in another man's job or in something that is little or in other man's job, so that you'll be able to develop yourself and get the skills and the experience of another man before you, because that's mentorship. That's how you get mentorship from other people. So because that is just for you to be able to, that is the second reason why you might need a job. The third reason is just for use for temporary survival support. But you should never make something temporary to become something permanent.
Because then the life mandate.
Yes, something that is supposed to be temporary and something that was supposed to be trivial. You now turn it to something of a whole life, something. You are giving a life for something that's supposed to be trivial, something that's supposed to be passing by. But whereby life is waiting for you. Your whole life, while you are created, is waiting somewhere. And it's just like saying, I sent you now to go and buy bread for me. And then you met your schoolmate in the like playing football in the street there. And you didn't get the guy buy bread. But his bread he sent out to do. So you came back at home. I said, what do you do? He said, well, where is my bread? Well, I met yeah, he said, I met my schoolmate, and he was having it. But so two of us were I scored 4 goals. The way I give you that the dirty slap, it will be splashing with fire, like lightning. You will be seeing lightning. So it's close now, and where is the bread? I forgot. That is how many people have been baptized. I don't even forget it.
Wow. That illustration was extremely powerful. I don't think many of us will forget it in a long time, because the image that is now coming to my mind, Dr. Sunday, is like we have a lot of people who are close to retirement now. And all
the shop is closed. The bread shop is closed.
The bread shop is closed, and they are still busy playing on the street. That is the shocking reality right now. So that is extremely
So losing your job, therefore, what does it do for you? It's just like saying your brother, your friend that you are playing that soccer with in the street says, I have to go. Oh no, I'm taking my ball, I'm going away. Then it brings you awareness. Oh, but I was supposed to go somewhere before even. Where was I even intended to go? Ah! It's my mom who she want me to go and buy bread. Ah! So it's not yet. Thank God, though. I remember, thank God that he took his ball away. Now I can go and fulfill the mission for me.
Or the ball got punctured.
Yes, or the ball got punctured. That's when tragedy happened, and you think it's a tragedy. But that brings you to a place of awareness and, awakening. And you goes, yeah, I remember. So that is what we are talking about right now, losing your job. You might think it's a tragedy, but it's really the best way for you to be able to use your time that you would have lost playing that soccer. Is the best thing that will happen to you for you to reconnect to the purpose for which you were originally called and sent to the world. It is an opportunity for you now to recoup all those years that you are using all those times that you are using to play football, to maybe run, so that you'll be able to recruit, accelerate, and gain back the lost years, and you still be able to make something of your life. That's why losing your job is one of the greatest things.
So, and of all species that God made, of all living species, it's only man that looks for job.
Other people are fulfilling destiny. Other creatures.
Other creatures of God are fulfilling destiny.
The bird is flying naturally. That's what it's created to do. The fish, yes. That's what it's created to do. The animal, all of the rest of them, they are functioning.
Absolutely, but man,
he's saying, "Take me," and he's the only one that has brain. He's the only one that has reasoning. He's the only one that has the image of God. He's the only one, and he's the one that says, I cannot apply myself anywhere. Take me. Wow. The ones that don't have all those things, they apply themselves to what they are created for.
Wow. So, job in many areas or in many ways has made many people to lose the main thing.
Yeah. For
the trivia, for the unimportant.
Right.
So. You have successfully convinced us totally.
Yeah, it's not about job.
That is not about job. That losing a
job, if you even have to do it, it's just because you had to do it. And there must be a reason why, there must be an explanation why you had to do it.
So, can I ask quickly that if someone is involved in doing a job, like what should determine the time span that person should be within that job?
Many factors. Number one, if someone is doing a job for the purpose of making some money, for example, that means the time plan is dictated by how long that need is there. If you need to get a mentorship, if you are doing a job just because of mentorship, is that mentorship enhancing you to fulfill your calling, or that mentorship is actually debarring you and hindering you? If it's hindering you, that also means that mentorship has to be short. But if it is enhancing you, that means you can even be under another person's mentorship for the rest of your life, because it's enhancing your fulfilling your purpose. And if it is just to learn the skills and the expertise, then how good and how fast are you in learning that skill and expertise?
So maybe a quick question, maybe the last one I want to ask, that I know might be burning on the minds of many people, is now it's a new year.
Yeah.
It's January 1st, and many of them, or many people are aware that they are trapped actually in a job. Yeah. What will you advise? Many people will be thinking, should I?
I'm going to ask, I don't know if Julie will be willing to come forward to do that, or she's not ready. You're not ready? Okay, she's not ready, or you would like to do it. Because Julie and Mayo were having a job before. They were working at a place or wherever they were working. But you don't have to, I can tell the story for you. So they were working and getting good pay, but there was no fulfillment. They knew they were just working for Uncle Sam, like many people are doing. But when they discover Pastor Sunday, now I'm not paying them salary. But they discover that they are now doing more purpose, eternally geared things towards fulfillment. They are getting more fulfillment here than when they were doing what they were doing. Now, there are a lot of logistic questions to answer. You know, how will I sustain myself, money, and all that, and what? Well, those are things that you could talk to Julie and Mayowa about later on.
Better still get a copy of the book.
Yeah, better still to get a copy of the book, right? And of course, the way to get the book is you can actually not just get a copy of the book, you can actually become a distributor for all these books. And the way to do it is just write to my office, dssbooks at gmail.com. dssbooks at gmail.com. So you could say you want to get the books. They are already on Amazon, actually, by the way. So if you go to Amazon, you can read them for free on Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy them on Amazon. But if you write to my office, it's even cheaper than the amount it will cost you to buy it on Amazon. So dssbooks at gmail.com is how to write to the office to get it. Let's look for another book. Oh, you have the other book here. This is the one. I think I will have to call Joe to come here. They said that he just came now. You need to remove your jacket and come in the national dress. You've not read this one?
No, I've not read it.
Adelaja has read it. This one I would like Adelaja to be the one to introduce this book. This book is called National Greatness Begins From Here. That's the second title. But the book is called Discovering the Purpose and Calling of Nations. Can you believe it? Discovering the Purpose and Calling of Nations. Discovering the Purpose and Calling of Nations. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well, I put you from fry pan to fire.
Well, this is what I call the Nation's Bible. I refer to it as Nation's Bible.
Yeah,
because
almost everybody who read it have said that they feel like they should be reading it. They should be reading it every month.
I'm telling you, yeah, this is so comprehensive. I should when I got the book and I started reading it from the first part.
From the preface.
You know, the first time I saw the book, I told you that, Pastor, I'm seeing a lot of scriptures in this book.
That is not like your books now.
I'm like, there are a lot of scriptures in this book.
You don't, this is not the way you write books.
You don't write books and you put in a lot of scriptures. This is talking about nations. So why are you having so much scripture? So, but that was just me scanning through. But then, when I began reading the book, then I understood.
Can you make it bigger, this book? This book is, I mean, no people don't have an idea. No matter how many of my books you have read, you don't have an idea I was waiting for you this one. Okay, go ahead.
Most people can easily understand that for every life there is a purpose attached to every life. Everybody understands that no one shows up by happenstance. Nobody shows up just like that. But then getting to discover that God is not just purposeful about every creation. I mean, about every human being. But God is purposeful about every nation.
That God has a purpose for and calling
for every nation. You know, it was mind-blowing getting to see how there is no nation that actually started by accident. That for every nation, God has a purpose for every nation. And then you talked about 5 key nations in the world, and then amazing. And then you now got to the part where about the values and how we can engrave the national values in the consciousness of every nation. Oh, well, I got a book. I told you that I got a book that I'm going to be using to work on here and to start a teaching on how to.
First of all, tell them about the fact that everybody that's going to read this book will get in his hand a formula of what it takes for them to discover the purpose of the nation. Let's say Livio now is coming from Holland. Now, even you, can you discover the purpose of Holland now?
you know,
can you?
For sure.
Easy. What about Togo?
For every nation.
If I tell you Kenya.
Every nation.
South Africa.
Every nation.
Namibia.
Every nation.
You will tell them the purpose of their country.
Exactly.
What about United States?
Every nation.
England.
Every nation.
France.
Everyone.
Britain.
Everyone.
Germany.
Everyone.
What about Brazil?
Every nation is in
Argentina.
Everyone.
Chile.
Everyone.
You will be able to determine the purpose of that.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
They will say you are a witch.
Well, it's
you know that you know that now is the time of what they call it, prophecies.
Yeah.
All the Nigerian. In fact, somebody just sent me a letter today. Somebody did an analysis of the percentages of prophecies that comes to pass in the out of all they discovered that most of them, the ones that are very accurate, they get 5%. so they said if it is less than 30% or 50%, you don't have any business prophesying. Why are you doing it in the first place? Because you are just messing up. Because in your own case, you can get 99% accuracy after this book.
It's
for every country,
for every
not just for 1 or 2 or something like
for
that.
every nation. Yeah, because actually it's ignorance. Actually, because what this book, Pastor, I told you that while reading this book, I could see so great research and work that has been put into it. And I told you that, Pastor, this book is so detailed that an ordinary mind might find it easy to continue because it talks about...
Not easy to continue.
Yeah, I find it not easy to continue.
Because it's a work. Even to read it,
so much work. So much work. So much work.
Yeah, tell us about your other things that came to your mind while you were reading it and what or when you finished it.
Exactly. So, for me, because, talking about Nigeria as a nation, because I read it as a Nigerian, wanting to understand why is Nigeria like this.
I don't even know. I don't even think if there's any country, any of our president that will be able to define
in detail.
What Nigeria is created for.
No. So because I wanted to understand, and I was reading into it as a Nigerian, getting to understand what is the problem with Nigeria. This year we're going to be 60 years, and it doesn't look like we have even figured out a direction for our nation. We are still waiting for one Messiah somehow to just come and just transform Nigeria into the Nigeria of our dream. Well, it seems as though there is no direction. I know you said it in the book that when there is no purpose, there is no direction. And when there is no direction, there is no focus. And when there is no focus, it leads to disintegration such that things begins to fall out of place. And that's like the picture of Nigeria. Everyone is just doing everything possible, but there is no direction to the nation. But when I read through the book, the first chapter, the first part that talked about how God is being intentional about nations, and there is no nation
that's where the formula is.
The formula is. I'm like, Lord. And then you talked about 3 things or 3 areas how we can find the destiny of nations. I'm like, well, but these things are glaring, Pastor. But those that we never knew. Talking about national values, that in every nation, the emblems of nations, they are communicating the idea of God for each of those nations. And and all of those, like the flags, the national anthems, all of those things, actually, the people that either fought for the independence of those nations or the people that created those nations, those people, they didn't.
Don't tell them what they all.
Okay.
Just tell them your feelings. Like you said now, for example, that you were reading it, you were thinking, oh, so much research is done. Yeah. What are the other thoughts? Just thoughts that were coming to feelings.
The other feeling I had was that I felt like finally I got something that I could work with in my own way to lead to the fulfillment of God's purpose for Nigeria. For me, I just found myself
and anybody from any other country
can use it. Could easily use it. As a matter of fact, I'm like, and I said it that if this book be made for every citizen of every nation, such that there is no how you will be a citizen of a nation and you don't get to read this book, because this is how exactly you can understand why God sent you to that nation, and
you will even understand why you are born
in that nation.
Yes, a Ghanaian or a German. Yeah. You will immediately understand why you are created. Even you, in the context of your nation or continent. You even understand why you are black. You even understand why you are white.
Everything. No, Pastor, this book is so mind blowing, so mind blowing. And talking about how you talked about several nations, and I'm like, I don't even think the presidents
of those
countries really even know this about their nations. Yeah. I need to
mention them.
You talked about France. You talked about Germany. You talked about US. You talked about UK, and you talked about Nigeria. And I started reading.
Because I needed to have a case study. So I picked 5, because I'm talking about all nations, 200 and something nations in the world. And I'm speaking, I'm telling them the formula of how you could discover the calling and the purpose of every nation. So, but I needed to have a case study to prove to them, a model, that let me show it how it's done. So I picked 5 countries in the world. In Africa, I picked Nigeria. In Europe, I picked some of the most ancient countries. You know, that is England, France, Germany, you know, central countries in Europe. Then I picked the United States. So these countries, and I made them as a case study. And I used the same formula that I used to discover, for each one, to discover their purpose. I laid down their purposes and their calling of every of those countries. And then at the latter part of the book is now how I'm talking to everybody reading the book, how they can now bring back their nations and make them to live by purpose and for purpose. You are getting excited all over again. Getting excited all over again.
Discovering the purpose and calling of nations. Come on. When people don't want to know, until they get this book and read it, Pastor. Until they get this book and read it.
So you are saying even the president of America might not even know,
might not understand
what I've written about their country.
No.
Or the president of the prime minister of France,
or Germany.
Yeah. They don't have an idea.
Nah. And I'm just trying to imagine if this is engraved in the consciousness of every citizen.
Ooh.
You know, Nigerians will stop immigrating.
We'll stop traveling anywhere.
We'll stop traveling anywhere. We will see the treasure that we have in. We'll stop going everywhere because no.
But will you even cross your mind that a human being will come up with a book like this?
Pastor, will it cross my mind? If I didn't know you, I would have said it would cross my mind. But then knowing you, and when I wrote it, I said, DSA has done it again because you keep doing it every time. I'm like, no, this book, while I could just see so much effort, so much research done into it. And that's when you told me that it took you over to maybe close to maybe 2 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Or 3 years to come out with the book. I'm like, I never even thought that it would have taken you that long to write, but it was so glaring that this book is just that, you know, the way we have, that's why I call it the nation's Bible. You know, the way we have the Bible, and the Bible is so comprehensive that it talks about everything that we need to live according to God's plan for our life. That's what the Bible is. And this is the Bible for nations. So you just got God's mind, how God thinks and how God desires for every nation to operate, and then you just package it in a book. Anyone that knows how to read can just open the book and read and grasp exactly God's purpose for them.
I will tell you that just for you to know that this book, for example, as far as I'm concerned, is one of my great satisfactions and joy. It's one of my great life satisfaction. That is one thing that is one of the books that I would have, that if I die today, I will be very happy and satisfied that I wrote.
Mm.
Because it's a gift to all nations.
All nations.
It's my gift to the world, to every country in the world. Because every country would hugely benefit from it. In fact, presidents, governments, future presidents will benefit from this. They will begin to discover purpose and calling for their nations. Okay, let's go to another book. The way to get the books, let's see the one that will come. We'll see the person. I don't think any one of you have read this one. None of you have read it. Just Victor has not read this too. He has not. This one is the bad news. This one is the bad news. This one is the bad news. This one is called How Africans, can you make it bigger? How Africans brought civilization to Europe. How Africans brought civilization to Europe. In fact, I'm sure there are some people who are already reading the book over there. I mean, this one is just so mind-blowing that that you will almost not believe it that it's true. You will almost not believe it that it's true. What is the phenomenal role of Africans on all continents? Can you believe it that Africans have contributed, blacks have contributed to the development of every continent? If I tell you today that Africans gave birth to the Chinese civilization, or Africans were one of the fathers of the Chinese nation, will you believe it? You will not. But I will not convince you, and I will not even try to. What I will do, I will give you the statistics, facts, the archaeological proofs that even the Chinese themselves have accepted. Do you also know that, because most people don't know that right now there are still blacks in Chinese, not the ones that immigrated there, the original Chinese, black Chinese. And those are the four fathers that created that country. The same thing with Japan. Do you know that the things that were, Adelaja was blacks, I always said Nigeria, blacks, yeah, built and gave birth to the Japan that we're seeing today. You know, it's mind blowing if you see how I mean. Do you know that the blacks? We think that there are no blacks in the Queen's Palace in England. They were there. They were responsible for the English throne that as we know it today. Germany, Sweden, Spain, Italy. Do you know that there were even black pope? Do you even know that the diagram of Mary, the mother of Jesus, what do they call it? That all those icons that they are using, you know, blacks are the ones who started drawing them. You know, a lot of things that blacks have done, it will just blow your mind. France, everywhere. The blacks were the people, you know, even in Latin America, Mexico, America itself. Yeah, all the civilizations in the world, blacks were at the root of them. So this book here, in fact, if you are going to have children, if you plan of having children, before you have children, you must read this book. And then you must buy a copy of this book before your children come to visit the world. In fact, and then you must instruct your child that this book, he must buy a copy for his own children before he even marries.
Pastor, this is so important. Why? Because one of the things I realized is that you know, one of the errors that we have is that we don't document history. And so because you ask an average Nigerian about the history of Nigeria or about what happened years or centuries ago. So because there's no record of history, or we don't value history, so we lose our image trying to be like other nations of the world. You see, that's why you see Africans trying to, we have a wonderful skin, but we're trying to bleach our skin to look like the white people. You see Africans too, with so much zeal, so much passion. We are naturally zealous people, but then you see some people trying to also to be just cool and calm, like the Europeans. Yeah, but no. There's so much wealth that we have as Africans that because we don't know this history, we can't value ourselves, and we're not valuing ourselves as we ought to value ourselves. But I believe reading this book would bring those historical facts and truths that will make us even value the fact that we're Africans. An average African feels is less than a white person. And that's the reason why, if you're Nigerian, you agree with me that if you're in Nigeria and you see anybody that has a light complexion, you say it's Oyibo. You don't know if the person is from America or UK, but just that the fact that the person has a lighter complexion compared to yourself.
It might even be an Indian.
It might even be an Indian, but you see an average Nigerian saying, "Hey, Oyibo, 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 Oyibo." and then they get so excited.
Then you discover that it's a Lebanese.
The Lebanese, and they are writing in Nigeria like that. Yeah. So something like that. So
Palestinian.
yeah. So we most an average African does not even see himself or he sees himself less of a person compared to a white person, of which is just due to the ignorance of our history. But reading a book like this, Pastor, I believe I'm going to read this book, and I believe it's going to reinforce that that historical truth that we have as Africans, knowing that even the Europe that we envy today, Africans actually played a huge role in bringing civilization there.
Yeah, this book, How Africa Brought Civilization, is detailed so many undeniable historical facts that you'll be proud. You'll be so proud that you're a black person.
That's the point.
You'll be jumping. In fact, you'll be having sleepless nights. Somebody has started reading the book, and the person is telling me, while I'm reading this book, I cannot sleep. For 2 weeks. In fact, I just stop one time and I just say, just for me to be able to sleep first. I'll go back to it again later. So much excitement. Now, we have ruled the world before.
Yeah.
Now I want to leave big time. Since we have been able to rule the world before, now it doesn't even have any doubt that I can rule the world. But for me, God has really helped me, because in my own case, I have always known that if I'm going to leave Nigeria to study abroad, because that used to be one of my problems when I didn't want to study abroad because I was always afraid. If I travel abroad, and everybody is going to be better than me, I don't want to be a disgrace to myself and to everybody. So when I now decided to travel abroad, thank God by then I discovered who I am. Well, one of my real determination is that if I'm going to travel abroad, I must be the best over there. Because if I'm the best here in Nigeria, why wouldn't I be the best over there? And I don't see anybody do anything better than me in the world. So even before I did this, so this book is not a book of me talking. I'm not talking in this book. It's typical research book. Research with all the links. Go and look for the link. Proofs. Go and look. I just brought the proofs to the world to see. So I'm not talking here. I'm just bringing the facts, the historical. There are so many that even my own head cannot take them. So I just did the research, compiled it, judge for yourself. And you will not need to judge. You will not have any opinion after it. Because the facts themselves, they convince you. Do you know that in my own village of Ijebode right now,
yes, sir,
there is a wall there that is as complex and as the pyramids of Egypt. Yes, in my own village. I didn't know that until I started doing research. Do you know that this wall that is built, it is resources, the amount of stones and sand that needed to be used to build it was more than the one they used to build it. Yeah. Do you know that the Stone Age, you know the age, what they call it, the England stone, those stones in England, what they call them, Stone Age of England, those historical something old, something they, you know, the discovery. You remember the stones in England? Those stones that stand like this. They are some of the most ancient stones, discoveries. You know, do you know that this one is older than that one?
And it's still there.
It is still there.
Wow.
It has now been declared a UNESCO or United Nations heritage. And black people did it.
You know, Pastor, I stumbled on one information that was in my mind that in Nigeria, before like years ago, that they used to perform trepanation on his head, of the head.
Yes.
Before it even
I even have a video of it of how brain surgery.
Brain surgery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is being conducted in the Sudan.
That was years before you even got to Europe.
Selassie had
Yes.
like wanted, he was actually advocating for this black something.
Medicine.
But the problem with him was he went the spiritual,
Yeah.
began to get
That's one of the problems. That's one of the things I want to do when I get to Nigeria. I want to bring out medicine from Nigeria and what they call pharmaceutical industry. But the problem right now that is hindering Africans from doing that, people don't know it, that, for example, in our own place, if you are sick, they take you to Babalawo now, or they take you to herbalist. Now the problem is that all that is mixed up in religion, Ifa and everything. But the thing that will really cure you are the herbs. So I want to go and separate religion, traditional religion from traditional medicine. And I want to go and separate traditional religion from traditional poetry. And I want to also go Yoruba. I'm talking about Yoruba, separate the traditional Yoruba religion and faith from philosophy, Nigerian Yoruba philosophy. So I want to bring up a school of philosophy. I have a lot of work to do. Because if you look at Yoruba very well, you will see philosophy there. If you look at Yoruba very well, you will see poetry there. If you look at Yoruba very well, you will see medicine there. If you look at you will see
True.
So I want to be able to build industry. I might not be able to do this. My life is too short to do all that. But I can inspire people. Even while I'm talking about it right now, I can give dreams to people, and people are looking for jobs. So just like Chinese medicine has been a contribution and an addition to the medical science of the world, and Chinese medicine is almost competing with the Western medicine all over the world right now. So that is how African medicine also must come to bring an addition and solution where other medical something has failed, and we always have them. But we must extract them from the religion and from and make it purely science.
Yeah, so true. Because I think the mixture.
So that's why this all thing.
So
The mixture has done so much damage.
Yeah. Amazing.
You see, that's why Desmond Tutu said we learn from history that we don't learn from history. So that's why I wrote this book. Let's learn from history, so that we don't keep on repeating the mistakes and failures of history. Africans actually led every continent of the world. And you see it in this book. What's just your impression about this book? Just thinking about it.
So even from the I'm just taking
design.
time to look at the design. Communicates so much.
Time.
Yeah.
Historical people.
But I think this definitely would restore the pride of every African. It sure would. It sure would. So we can begin to walk with our shoulders high that we are Africans. And I'm sure it's going to be a huge blessing to the whole African continent.
Okay, let's go for the next one. Work is better than vacation. Labor is better than flavor.
This is a book of values. This is a value system book right here. This
Is Victor there? Would you like to come and
address
this one? So this one talks about Winston Churchill. I quoted Winston Churchill from here. He said, those who work and pleasure are one, are fortune's favored children. Now, those whose work and pleasure match and marry are one, are fortune's favored children. That's what he said. Then God still works. Do the same, and you will see this greatness in your lives. Now, look at this. I was actually contemplating what should I call the book, so I decided to use the two titles. Work is better than vacation. That is one thought. I want you to assimilate that. And you see the palm. Work is better than those palm trees. That's Miami. But work is better than vacation. That's one aspect of the title. The second aspect of that title is labor, which the thing everybody is walking away from, I mean running away from and afraid of. Labor is better than favor. Labor better than favor? African teachers, preachers now will say that is a curse right there. I'm so glad. This is another book that I'm so glad I was able to write. It's an affronter book. It's an affront against the evil doctrines. Yes, and the mindset that is now being germinated by churches in our country. I want to hear from you, Mr. Victor.
I think this book is coming at a very right time.
Can you focus on it? At the right time?
At the right time, yeah. Because Nigeria is entering, prophetically, Nigeria is entering a state now where people are beginning to get jobs. They are ready to work. But so when they get this kind of book now, they get a redefinition and probably not just look for jobs or something to do, but to do the right thing. And we are living the place where people are, there's a resurgence in the religious cycles. People are beginning to see that what they've been doing since all these days are not working. So there are a lot of questions coming up, and eventually people will realize that those who have been working since the days that they were praying are getting things done. So now they will want to get things done, but again, the question is, the labor of food wearies them all because they do not know how to get to the city. So I think when a blueprint like this comes out and someone is able to get
and you know the way my books are.
Yeah. For example,
it's going to be so thorough.
This one book now, this one that is a book now, for me is just a chapter. I'm addressing it in my book that will come out by April. I'm addressing it just as a chapter. But when you get such, and we always tell you that you know how to turn just one thought process. What may be just a line in our own, when we get to that, what may be just a line, and we just mention that line, we forget it. But you are so thorough that you go deep down and you dissect it, and sometimes I wonder how you get to have time to do all of this. I mean, so, but the good thing about this is that they may not sound nice to the religious mind, but because of what the shift in paradigm is bringing now, people will begin to ask, why are you saying that labor is better than favor? And by the time they dissect it and they see that since the days they've been waiting for favor, Dangote has been laboring. Steve Jobs was laboring. Bill Gates was laboring. Favor never reached them. Favor has not gotten to them.
No, to those ones who are waiting.
To those who are waiting, yeah.
But to those ones who are laboring,
they are getting
the favor.
Yeah, they are getting.
Now them favor they will chase after that.
Yes. They are getting the fruit of their labor.
By true favor.
True favor. Because the whole idea of everything working together is that you do something and you get the returns. The whole process is that God favored what you are doing. So God, in fact, one of the principles I learned, and I believe it will be well spelled out here, was that even when God was dealing with the children of Israel and was feeding them with manna, through the process of manna, you would think that God allowed them. But did they realize that manna stopped the moment they ate from the produce of the land? They planted it. So I realized that even when manna was going on, God was teaching them the principle of labor. So the moment they ate from the produce of that labor, their manna stopped. But one would have thought that God will not allow them work while manna was going on. But what we are doing now is, we have even forgotten that we are no longer in that time of manna, and labor must be engaged. And it is the engagement of labor that determines the productivity of any economy. People cannot be praying Monday to Friday, then go to practice on Saturday and come back to church on Sunday and keep repeating the same circle, and you think there will be productivity. And once there's no productivity, not only will there be low GDP, but there will also be low GDP per head. There will be low capital per head. Poverty, that's why the Bible says a little sleep, a little folding of hands. It says, yet your poverty increases. How dare us be waiting for favor? Favor is in the place of work. It's in the place where our work is. That is where we get favor. Because the whole idea of everything working together is that we have received favor. So if you don't engage favor,
a whole book is written in the Bible to teach us this lesson. The book of Ruth is not just about my God will be your God and my your God. Because the book of Ruth is about the fact that favor is only in the place of labor. Because Ruth found favor in the eye of man and in the eye of God. But where? By being the wife in the house of Naomi?
No.
Eh?
No.
No.
On the feet.
It was where?
On the feet of Boaz.
and then
Chiefs,
yeah.
gathering chiefs and all that.
Sir,
And the way she walked there, she walked so hard that you have to notice that.
You notice that.
it's just that most of us don't even read scripture. Over so many, I'm sure if the need be, I can put that in every chapter of the Bible,
In every book.
in every book of the Bible, there was the expostulation, the preaching, or the talking about why people must work. Work. Because without work,
You want to
nothing
add
gets
to it?
done.
Yeah, you come over. You come over.
I think the problem could have been the fundamental philosophy that work is a curse. And that is the way they...
It's a curse?
Yes. That is the
Churches do that.
That
They
is the
believe that.
way, that is the mindset
Especially if you use the word labor.
of labor.
Some people even tell me that, okay, it is not work that is cost. Because I was preaching a lot about, they say it's labor. So it is labor, we say that it is one day of favor, it's better than work, not work, it is labor. So that's why I chose labor here.
And I think when we are talking about that labor, oftentimes the illustration many Africans will give to you is that, okay, there are these Hausa men who are digging wells around the country but they are digging wells so much and they are not getting
Anywhere.
so they see that as labor. But also if I look at that if I have to compare that with the philosophy of the Bible says that there is more, for in every labor there is dignity, there's profit. In every labor there's profit. So a man was saying that it's not the kind of job that a man does that actually places him in the society or something. It's the fact that he's able to stand up from his bed and he's able to go about something legal to bring food to his family. So he said, any man that is able to do that, even if he's digging a well, and at the end of the day he's coming back maybe with 100 naira or 200 naira, he said such a man should be praised than a man who doesn't want to do anything or wants to go about an illegal job.
Yeah, but even that whole concept, the reason why the Hausas are digging is because there are other factors. Those are other factors because you have to work. You know, the physical manual work is inferior definitely to mental work. And the mental work is, you know, you have to know how to also work smart and fast and intense. There are a lot of other principles that come to play. So you could be digging well and still be making millions. And actually you could be sweeping other people's house. And because they are cleaning industries now. There are companies that are just cleaning the companies. These are sweepers of other people's houses. But they are making more money than some of the white collar job people. Just the person who is cooking, you know, there are chefs now who have added to cooking smartness, brain, and they are millionaire chefs now who are making more money than white collar, than lawyers and doctors. Yeah, so to say that it is, you know, digging, that's not the factor. I will also tell them there are pastors too, who are in the village or other places who are been pastoring for 40 years and are poorer than even that Hausa man. Because there are other factors that come to play.
So Martin Luther King said that if a man is called to be a skilled sweeper, that he should sweep so well that it's like it should, like Michelangelo would have done his work, that all the angels of heaven will stop and say, here comes a great sweeper.
Yes. So, those are the other factors that come to play. But tell me about this, what you see in these titles.
So
but even the combination, because I it's like I said, it is a dilemma that led me to it. Dilemma, but I want the two to be. I didn't know how to come across it, so I just decided to put the two phrases like that. But now I'm very satisfied that I did, because I'm challenging philosophies. Because this one of vacation is not so popular in Nigeria yet, but it's in the West. And everybody in the West is dreaming of vacation. So I am dealing with the Western corrupt philosophy, at the same time dealing with our own compromised philosophy in Africa, but it's still the same underlying principle.
So for many people, vacation is the dream, especially in the vacation is the dream. From January, they are dreaming of summer.
Yeah,
they are dreaming to go on vacation, to go to the beach and all that. And that's also the fundamental philosophy, is the fact that people see work as a course, as difficulty. So the people do not believe in the efficacy or the sanctity of work.
So if I say work is better than vacation, let's imagine vacation. Vacation is, and we have the palm trees there. So it's like, I'm going to Miami, going to lie down there, I'm going to be able to swim, I'm going to be able to, that looks good, that sounds good.
Not do anything.
Not do anything, just, they call it chilling or something.
Chilling.
Okay, chilling. Okay, just chilling. Now I'm now saying, as good as that is, the chilling, as good as the chilling is, that this work is better. How possible is that?
You can only explain the rationale.
And that also labor, as good as favor is, because they say 1 day of favor is better than 20 years of labor. So 20 years, favor can give you in 20 years. I mean, 1 day, what 20 years of labor will not give you. But I'm still saying labor is still better than all that favor that will give you. So that's what I want people to think about. But I can't believe it. The time has gone so much. How many books have we covered? I'm sure it's not 10 yet. No. Only 4. Okay, let's see another book. Who is the next one? Because it's in 40 minutes time, or how many minutes? Oh wow! In 30 minutes time, we have to start another program. So don't look at it one. Don't eat tomorrow's food today. Is it not fascinating?
Interesting.
Make it bigger. What a book!
The future got served on a plate.
Yes.
We got layers.
Future, you got it. That is the future, I guess. But many people are eating that future today with content. But the diagram is, the illustration is perfect.
Yes. Wow. And the subtitle is How to Escape an Economic Slavery.
Yeah, it's supposed to be financial slavery. I think it will be corrected, or it has been corrected.
Okay.
So don't eat tomorrow's food today. Let's see another one. Is there any way to see it more closely? What will you say about this one?
Very, very interesting. I was opportune to read this one. Interesting.
How to win in life.
This book got me very, very emotional because it's connected with me in many ways. One, Pastor, in this book you address something that is also very.
You edited it.
Yes, I edited.
Yes.
Very, very deep. Very, very, especially for young people in Africa, because we are trained with all the cultural, all of the cultural dues on the mind, and we basically like slaves. And in this book, one of the things that was challenged is that for any man to win in life, you have to be an upstart, which for many Africans, especially Yoruba people, below the age of 40, humble, quiet, don't disturb this.
The elders are in the house.
Yes, you don't want to disturb.
You have to be quiet when the elders are here.
That is also one of the greatest problems of Nigeria. Inhibition. And unfortunately, the churches are one of the people propagating such gospel. And that's why, the country is in a mess. So many things are happening. but young people cannot challenge this.
They are not tapping into the resources of
Into
the
the
young
resources.
people because they are too young. Keep quiet. Elders are talking. You are too young.
Even when it's very obvious that the elders are wrong.
They are failing.
Are failing. One of my articles that drew me the most criticism last year was one. It was a very, very short article where I wrote about the fact that Yoruba culture could be very, very damaging. And people were like, what are you talking about? This is not, it wasn't a conventional thing for them. So in this book, Pastor addressed the need that for you to be an upstart in life, for you to be a winner in life, for you to win in life, you need to be an upstart. Again and again, that is one of the greatest challenges for me individually as a person. That is one of the things I'm trying to work on very, very bad. So you used many stories, personal stories, how from being in the village. One very critical example you used was the fact that you were opening the newspapers one day, you saw the advertisement for a scholarship, and then you decided to apply for that scholarship, and you said that there were perhaps millions of people who saw that same
In the city.
There
are millions of people in the city, and I'm sitting in a village where there is no electricity, don't like nothing. And somebody brought a newspaper, maybe to wrap their bread or something. They wrap the bread, they buy newspaper,
and you saw it, and today the rest is history. And you said it very critically. You painted the picture very vivid in the book that if you never took advantage of that, you will still be in the Domila today, probably as a farmer. So that came alive very strongly. You spoke to the young people of Africa, the need for them to be an upstart. That it is not the virtue, you're not where you're going to be in life by virtue of your place of birth, by virtue of the circumstances that happen to you in life, but the fact that whether you're choosing to take advantages of the things that present itself to you, and whether that's even if you know that there are opportunities at all. So people are not taught these things in churches because they don't know. As the new year started, there are a lot of things that are going to present themselves as opportunities to you. There are a lot of things that a lot of young people write to me personally from Africa. Oh, I want to study abroad. I want to do this. I want to do all of those things. I say, look, these opportunities are everywhere. You just need to take advantage.
Why don't we just do this? Let's do before Dr. Success goes. Maybe we could do a review of this book with him. Okay. Let's go to another book.
I can tell.
Huh?
I think I can tell why this came about.
Let them be story. Pastor,
Face your calling.
face your calling. Because this, I actually wrote this also for you people in the future. You'll be challenged when you step out of your, wherever they have put you in. They put you in a small corner. What is your own business there? Okay, Bio now is challenging pastors and bishops. They are saying, who are you? Who are you? Lose your own life. What's your own business there? What's your, everybody, they are trying to put you down, put you where you belong, stay where you belong. And that is more, this book is more to help my disciples. To help my disciples, because every time you stand and decide to change something in the nation and to challenge the status quo, there will be people who are waiting to tell you that you don't belong here. Stay where you belong. Stay in the corner that life has put you in.
Very, very illustrative. In fact, the picture itself is very illustrative. The pulpit on the street, because you do not usually find the pulpit on the street.
They don't bring it out.
They don't bring it out.
It has to be inside.
It has to be inside. That very
and it shouldn't just be inside.
Just that very
only that
small particular spot. And there's that, it shows a way of conduct, a way of mannerism and everything. And that is being stereotyped, being in a small box. The story behind the book is that before the general elections, 2015 presidential elections, when Pastor made his convictions known, his stand known, that based on statistics and facts, this is who I think should be the next president of Nigeria. And he's a Muslim, and he's not from your
from my tribe.
It's not from your tribe. It was against all the conventions, because the elections at that time was basically a Muslim versus Christian thing. So many of the pastors in Nigeria were coming out to say, oh, there is an Islamic agenda or Christian, this Christian president must win. And then pastor has a very, very prominent voice and is advocating for the current president now, a Muslim. But many people came out to say, okay, we don't even want to listen. Tell us the mind of God. Pastor, you're a pastor, just face your calling, leave politics alone, let other people deal with the matters of politics. And perhaps maybe it was someone's comment that gave you the inspiration.
Because there are too many writing that. But what I'm saying is that until the pulpit comes to the street, that is the light. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that is all symbolized in this pulpit. And you're hiding it. It is darkness. I mean, it is darkness in the street. This is the light that can lighten it, and you're hiding it inside. This is the love that can drive away hatred. Hatred is in the street, and you're hiding it. So that's what is, and that's why it says how believers can come out of the four walls of the church and bring relevance to the larger society. Every pastor, every church, every Christian should read this book. How they can come out of the four walls and bring relevance. How church can come out of the four walls and change the nation. That's what this book is about. Next one. This one is called I Am a Person. Am I a Personality? Is that Victor or you?
Yeah.
It's you or Victor?
This book, right?
Yes.
I did it.
You did it. Oh, come.
Emmanuel Mouse.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Is this something like different?
No, this is different though.
Okay.
Oh, is it the one? No. Huh?
It could be the translation.
Yeah.
It's the one, eh?
Come on.
Okay, come and do it. Come and talk about it. Is it the one? I'm a person. Am I a person?
I think it's the one.
It's the one, right?
Because I remember they were debating
The title. Okay.
I think it's the one.
Okay, come and talk to us about this. Yeah, you should remember that. That's what it was called before. Yeah, they didn't change the something. We have to.
Yeah, I remember this title, and then we changed it to a man or a mouse.
Yeah, a man or a mouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this book is the gateway from being a biomass to becoming a human being. And
Wow.
yeah, that's just it. You know,
From transformation from a biomass to a human being.
from being a biomass, from just existing to real like living. And one thing that really stood out in this book for me while I was editing it was that it will dawn on you so greatly how much you've been a biomass.
Once you begin to read the book.
Yes, and why you must start living actually, and why you must become a personality. And you know, you're so strong on values. And for me, since I met you, I've realized that values, principles are things that anyone that wants to maximize his life on earth must maximize values and must appreciate values. And in this book, you talked so much about a lot of values that makes concrete values
that makes a personality.
That makes a personality. Concrete values that makes a personality. And if anyone can imbibe those virtues and those values, that is exactly what separates a person who is just merely existing, living for survival, from someone who has formed in himself those values, has formed in himself those virtues, and makes this person different from every other person that is existing in this world.
Beautiful. Now, the only thing we'll have to do, okay, we'll talk about it a bit later. All right, the next one. Could you be the Abraham of your nation? This is a new book. This is another one. Great secrets for the greatness of Abraham. You know, everybody is claiming the blessings of Abraham.
But even three major religions are connected with Abraham.
But they don't know the steps and the principles and the secrets to actually becoming an Abraham. But everybody can be an Abraham. Being an Abraham of your nation. Beautiful. I was an Abraham, father of nations. Everybody can establish himself, pioneer, and a destiny maker for a nation. Okay, next one. That's it? This is the last one here. Hello, I am searching for problems.
Yeah. This is the book.
There is the book at last.
Yeah, this is the book. We've spoken about this book before,
Yeah.
Russian. Yeah.
If you are not solving problems,
Yeah, problem.
then you are a problem.
True. True. Brings to mind the three sons of Adam that we've talked about.
Use problems as
The
springboard
for your
for your elevation.
Yeah.
So these are the books that I'm giving you people to start your new year with. My 10 new books for the new year for you.
Amazing.
Yeah. Challenging, eh? Okay, go through them again. This one, hello, I'm searching for problems. And would anybody ever buy this one?
Yeah, well, I think this is for a curious mind. Yeah,
Huh?
for a curious mind. Someone who wants to believe in us. What are you saying? Are you kidding me? This is what my pastor just ripped me off. This last Sunday, I just.
But, okay, but does it come across that this is also a handbook in how to tackle problems? Or it doesn't come across?
For me, I think what is the curiosity about the book title that would attract the
Because this is supposed to tell you that problems are no problems. That bring them on.
Hello, hello, I'm searching for problems. You can
That no problem at all. Problems, bring them on.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Could you be the Abraham of your nation? This is like becoming a father of the nation. How every one of you can become a father of your nation. This is very challenging, very interesting, amazing. Good. Discovering the calling of nations. We talked about this, yes. How Africans brought civilization to Europe. How to get what you need in life. How to win in life. Why losing your job is the best thing that will happen to you. Don't eat tomorrow's food today. Work is better than vacation, labor better than fame. Even my titles are intriguing sometimes. I'm just noticing it. Is that all?
Oh, are you sure?
That's what. Huh?
Yeah, amazing.
We already did this.
Yeah.
We already did this too. We did that. Is that all? Okay. Thank you so much, guys. It was nice being with you. We'll be back in the next 20 minutes to do the live broadcast. Enjoy.